This is Kelso Sturgeon. Thank you to the weekend edition of Handicapping 101. Before we get to the handicapping session, just a couple of reminders. Here's what's on the schedule for the weekend. The betting menu on Saturday, my 50-unit Pac-10 game of the year. Also, a 50-unit two-team college power parlay on Sunday. My 50-unit NFL game of the week. I'm 3-1 in those games this season. Then on Monday night, a 25-unit play on the Vikings-Jets showdown. All those games are part of my Shocktoberfest program or may be purchased individually. My Shocktoberfest program includes all the big game plays for the month of October, including my 200-unit NFL game of the year, my 200-unit college game of the year, and you can have the entire package for just $179 charged to your major credit card. Sign up on this site or toll free at 1-800-755-2255. Now let's just go over a few things for Saturday, and then we'll touch on some bounce-back teams for Sunday. You know, as you look at the card for Saturday, I want you to keep in mind that I keep charts and graphs on all these college football teams, all 120 of the board teams, and the charts and graphs tell me which teams are underrated by line makers and that you have somewhat of a point spread edge with them. There are 3 teams this week that you have a point spread edge with, and once again, I'm not saying bet on these teams. There's a lot of reasons to bet on them, a lot of reasons to bet against them. But Colorado is very much an underrated team this year. They're a 13-point underdog at Missouri. Central Michigan, very underrated. They're plus 23 at Virginia Tech. And then San Diego State, as I mentioned yesterday, probably the most underrated team in the country. They're a -4 at BYU. So underrated teams going into this weekend: Colorado, Central Michigan, and San Diego State. Now 3 teams that absolutely are not as good as advertised, and you've got to be wary about betting on them. Boston College. Boston College is 2-2, 0-4 against the numbers, and as I pointed out last week when I took Notre Dame over Boston College, this is a program in panic right now because they realize the cupboard is bare. Rutgers, 2-2 straight up, 0-4 against the number. Very, very shaky play. Georgia, amazingly, 1-4 straight up and against the number. So be very careful about betting on Boston College, Rutgers, and Georgia. I don't care who they play or what the line is. These teams are dramatically overrated by those who make betting lines. Also to note that there are 4 winless teams left in college football. Akron is 0-5. They're a 17-point underdog at Kent State this week. Eastern Michigan, 0-5, lost 17 straight dating back to last season. A 24-point underdog at Vanderbilt. And then we have a matchup of 2, if not the 2 worst teams in football close to it. 0-5 New Mexico, 0-4 New Mexico State get together in Las Cruces. New Mexico State is a 3.5-point favorite. Neither team has covered the number this season. Now I think that there's 3 or 4 logical spots where you can take an edge with bounce-back teams this week. I'm not saying these teams have to win. I'm just saying that they're in bounce-back mode, and that carries a lot of weight when you handicap the NFL. The Indianapolis Colts are certainly in bounce-back mode off that loss at Jacksonville last week. They're an 8-point favorite over Kansas City, which, by the way, is the only undefeated team in the NFL, as strange as that sounds. The Cincinnati Bengals, I'm very worried about their offense and the confusion, but they're a 6.5-point home favorite over Tampa Bay, and they definitely are in a bounce-back mode. The Tennessee Titans, amazingly beaten last week after dominating a game. They are definitely in the bounce-back mode. At Dallas, they're a 6.5-point underdog. And then last but not least, the Philadelphia Eagles will be without Michael Vick, but they still remain in a bounce-back mode. They're a 3-point underdog at San Francisco. So the bounce-back teams in the NFL this week are Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Tennessee, and Philadelphia. Good luck to you this weekend. Let's let the good times roll and make some money.